Everyone, hey everyone, I'm Sir Retro. Welcome to the Retrospective series. I am the host, Sir Retro, and basically, of course, Retrospective mainly focus on like the reviewing matches, reviewing stuff, especially for our Middle Georgia scene. But for a while, for the time being, we're gonna do something special. We kind of started a little bit of it last episode, where I actually talked about the little bit of history of Reboot. What was like a little bit before Reboot. Um, was like after when Reboot started, so forth. Just I had some pictures and everything like that. So for y'all guys, for tonight, you see on the main post for the on the stream, I'll be joined by Big Boss DP and PC Joshua. So I'm gonna get Joshua the little introduction first, introduce himself, and then I have Big Boss DP. Definitely talk about yourselves and what games y'all play, what other roles you play in the scene, so like that. So yeah, so Joshua, I'd like to start with you. Um, how are you? And tell us about yourself.
I'm all good, sir. I hope you are doing well and Mr. Ricardo is as well, and hope our lovely audience is doing as well. Uh, I'm just one of the other TOs. I'm kind of the graphics guy when needed, so graphic art on the design and all that. And then I stream on the occasion, but hopefully my workstation will be operational as soon as I'm off vacation now, so I can get back to full capacity and work on all the stuff you asked me to.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. As far as like games go, I've been practicing surprisingly Darkstalkers. I think it's two.
Mm-hmm.
Working on Cyberbots,
Okay.
cracking a lot of the MVC games, still playing Street Fighter 5 and Tekken since the newer ones will be coming out later in the next year, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. That's cool. And I said, appreciate Joshua. Being the tech man. Definitely was a lot. Definitely helped out a lot for the scene for technical aspect. Like I see with some of the ideas with the layouts and everything. Especially what we have recently in the past few years. Pretty much, Joshua that definitely headlined those in those roles. So appreciate you, my guy, for joining in. And Big Boss DP, I know you was on the Street Fighter podcast with me and Shadow Ace. But of course, for the people who are now want to know a little bit more about the Middle Georgia scene, tell us about yourself.
Greetings, people. My name is Ricardo, aka Big Boss DP. Of course, live in Macon. I kind of been here since the genesis of the scene, but well, not like the entire scene, but like the tournaments and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see, where do I start? I not only just fighting games, whether Street Fighter, Guilty Gear, Tekken. I dib and dab in other fighting games, just dib and dab like Dragon Ball, Soul Calibur at one point in time, Blaze Blue, Blaze Blue Cross Tag. But other than fighting games, I enjoy the JRPG scene, which is Final Fantasy, the Tale series. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
will find me always trying to explain and get people into them series, especially the Tale series. If you haven't played any of the Tale series, please check them out. Please check them out. You won't be disappointed. um, then of course you got the action stuff. Devil May Cry. Devil May but for disclaimer, Devil May Cry 2 does not exist. But I'm a huge Devil May Cry fan, including the remake. I don't care what nobody says, I liked it. Resident Evils. Resident Evil 6 when it comes to Leon's storyline, yes. Everybody else no.
Mm-hmm.
Um let's see. Shooters, I'll dib and dab in some Call of Duty, hit up some Warzone and some multiplayer. I plan on getting a new one pretty soon. What else I do play? I gotta go to my main menu and see what I play. There's so many. Beat 'em ups. Give me some Ninja Turtles.
mm.
Give me some Mega Man. Give me some Scott Pilgrim. Give me some Streets of Rage. Huge Sonic fan. Not as big as Sir Retro here, but I'm a huge Sonic fan as well. And I can't wait till July when NCAA comes back out, and I can finally cry when I play a football game because NCAA will be back. Go Georgia State Panthers and go UGA Bulldogs, national champs, baby. And so those are my favorite games. But of course, just like PhD Joshua,
Mhm.
I'm one of the TOs here. Helps out with Sir Retro, and but my main focus is to not only just helping out with the tournament, helping doing this and that,
Mhm.
but I also compete in every single one of them as well. Represent as well. Like, hey, as TOs can do a little something, something here, not just only help playing tournaments, but hopefully beat the crap out of people as well in a respectful way.
Mhm.
So, and
Go ahead.
I love to play Puzzle Fighter. I just started back playing Puzzle Fighter as well, and I'm going to put on the record here: nobody will ever beat me in Mario Kart 64. I am the tribal chief, like Roman Reigns calls himself. I am the tribal chief of Mario Kart 64, so you better acknowledge me. The only way you will win is if I don't show up.
So he says.
No, no, no. That's not. Look, in the words of Paul Heyman, that is not a prediction. That is a spoiler.
No, it's a fact.
No, it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler. It's a spoiler when I come through the doors to play Mario
Mhm.
Kart 64 in the tournament. It's gonna be a spoiler because everybody knows I'm gonna win. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil everybody. I'm gonna win. I am going to win. Let me go ahead and
Whatever
spoil.
helps you sleep at night.
Hey, it's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. That's what it was. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
Well, well, you definitely heard it here. First from some man himself, but definitely, of course, Big Boss DP, appreciate it. For definitely you made your contribution to the scene because I would say, actually, by the segue into it, of course, with the competitive history, gaming history overall, and so forth. But specifically for before reboot, I would say, you
Ooh,
know,
yeah.
I really, pretty much, I definitely was curious a bit about how it was before reboot. Um, so I'll definitely want to ask you the question. I'll definitely do the same for Joshua because Joshua been around, I would say, as well before reboot. But how did you come about to the Georgia scene? How did it? Well, yeah, there was like some type of formation of the scene, or just people just got together to play games, and it just became tournaments that way. So how was it before reboot? Um,
Well,
so sorry, yeah, Big Boss.
Well, it all started back in 1992 when I picked up the Sega Genesis controller and played Mortal Kombat for them. Just kidding.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
I want to go back to 2015
Hmm.
when I started working at the hospital. Now,
Okay.
prior to that, I was in Atlanta. I was at Georgia State, going to school there.
Mm.
I started in FGC back in 2014. Yeah, 2014.
Hmm.
When I went to final round. When I heard the final round, went to final round, got demolished, said I want more and I want more, competitive side of me. But back in 2015, when I started working at the hospital, I say about a month or two later, a guy got hired online.
Mm.
One of my coworkers told me about a place called Primetime Gaming. So he was like, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays nights, they have gaming nights. You just bring in your systems or play the systems up there. Yada yada. Just meet people. Cool, great. Okay, pay about what, $5, $10, just to, you know, go out there, chill, hang out, eat some food, have some snacks, whole shebang bang. So that was going on for about a couple of months, go out there, hang out, meet people. So I talked with the owner. I was like, hey, ever thought about having tournaments, if you want to kind of bring in a little more revenue, because I had just got into the scene.
Right.
Everybody was having fun. There was a lot of people, probably about maybe five, six, seven people come out.
Okay.
10 some nights, 10 some nights. Everybody was just having, we just having fun, shooting shits, all that. So I was like, hey, we ought to just start having tournaments. I was like, because, when I was in Atlanta, I had, went to a tournament. It was super huge. I'm still a baby in the FGC still. Even now, I'm kind of like a kid. But back then, I was a baby in the FGC. So I was like, hey, we can do this stuff, down here. Have tournaments, playing tournaments, talking with the owner. He was like, great idea. I was like, usually there's a door fee.
Mm.
Then, of course, people pay per game, like, okay, like $5 per game, $10 door fee, whatever, however many put, you guys get maybe if the door fee is $10, you guys get like seven, three goes towards the pot, whatever pot it is, towards what game. And then, of course, whatever game they enter in, that money goes towards that pot. Something like that. He's like, cool, yeah, we can do that. We take portion of the door fees for our place, and then, of course, the other money goes towards payout. Cool, great, awesome, boom, thumbs up. That went on for quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
everything was going good, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, I decided to finally check out the new spot in town, Reboot. I was like, nah, I'll go downtown one of these days. Me being lazy at times here and there, I'm going to go downtown. Then, of course, that's when I ran into Sir Retro. Hey, I see you playing Street Fighter there. I kind of did with that in Street Fighter.
Mm.
Okay, want to play a few matches? Cool, great. Boom. Ken Dante Masters come out, do his thing. Lose a couple matches here and there, win here and there.
I still
Okay.
remember that. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it was really cool. It just I think we ended up just like sat at the bar at one point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we just sat at the bar too because
Yeah,
we TV behind the bar.
it actually like a typical movie meetup moment.
Kenneth, like I said, Kenneth Dante Masters came out. Played with Ken.
Cause
I think that was. If I don't know if that was. Yeah, oh, that was still season 1. Okay.
yeah,
So um.
and they were on your birthday too, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it was still season 1. Because I actually, for this is a fact, I unlocked everybody in season 1
Mm-hmm.
by just playing online and buying them with fight. But I didn't fight. I didn't buy the season pass. Season 1. So I actually unlocked everybody with the fight money.
Mm.
But that was during the time too when they was having problems and it was gifting fight money to everybody just for, hey, sorry for our crappy online, which is still crappy. So here's some fight money, do whatever you want with it,
Right,
okay.
right.
But okay, fast forward. But while I was there, shooting the shit with you,
Uh huh.
hey, I'll be at prime time, we'll have tournaments here and there. If you know some people or you want to come out yourself, come through, yada yada, exchange Facebook info, Twitter info, all that fun stuff. So I
Mm.
can tag you and show you. All right, bet, cool. All right, so Sir Retro starts coming through,
Mm-hmm.
bringing freak, bringing people. Adrian, a lot of other folks. I think like Chavez and Camden started coming through here, and of course that's where I met Benji and Malcolm as well. Cause they
Okay,
started.
right. Cause I
So
remember.
I met them first. I met Benji and Malcolm first
Yeah, cause I
because I
think.
still remember Benji won a turn. He won the first tournament that we ran,
Mm-hmm.
and we played a first to 3 or first to 5, and I beat him. So
Okay.
I think that was one of the rare blue moons that I beat Benji. But and it was post tournament. So I was like, wow, I beat this guy first to 3. Like, wow, and he won the tournament. Yeah,
Yeah.
dang, I wish I did better. But anywho's, of course, met Benji Malcolm there.
Uh huh.
And of course, when we started holding Tekken, Chambliss and Cannon probably started coming through. You and Adrian started coming through. Everything's
Right.
going good. Everything's going great. But of course, two relationships start souring here and there. I won't go into details. So,
Right. Yeah.
me, you, and Adrian would be talking like, man, I'm trying to get these tournaments going, but they're not responding. Yada yada. I wish there was something we could do. Now, knowing you at the time,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this guy has a lot of connections. He knows a lot of people. He's passionate, this and that. Me, I'm passionate, but not as passionate as Sir Retro.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I want to get better. I want to still do the tournament stuff, but I want to get better as a competitor.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Adrian and Kirk looks like they know a lot of people and look like they got a busy,
Mm.
business snaggy side, especially with Adrian.
Mm.
I won't go into him, but I will say he can sell salt water to a snail. Because
Mm.
I was like, hey Adrian, looks like you can do this and that. You got the confidence of everything,
Mm.
charisma that you have. So how about you can try to sell out to people. Me and Kirk will help you.
Mm.
This and that, and then of course me helping BNTO, people. Let's do this. So we cut out prime time and just start bouncing around from Comments Plus.
Yeah, as you can see the picture here. This one reason I use that picture. What?
Well,
Well,
that's my main spot, Comment Plus. Did we have any other spots besides Comedy Plus and Reboot?
No, because I think I remember because I remember going to Pronto a few times, and
Yeah.
then I remember because the big thing was when Tekken 7 first came out. That was if I remember, that was the big draw, and
Mm-hmm.
to the point we ended up having tournaments. Because now Reboot did around the same time. Actually, no, right before that.
We used to be in the corner when they used to have the Sunday Fun Days.
Thank
That's what
you.
it is. They had the Sunday Fun Day
You
where
know
it was
what?
just
Uh,
and people just competed for gift
uh,
cards and stuff for the bar.
yeah,
But that wasn't our thing, and that was
they
them.
won't see this yet, but I'm gonna transfer over there. Y'all see what I'm previewing, but I'm gonna the, put this this out. But I'm gonna put some pictures though of what the Sunday Funday moments used to look like, because I
Yes.
definitely still got those out. So give me a second. I gotta do is change this
I don't
picture.
know pictures of my profile as well, but I got to go down deep.
Hmm.
Oh, this is my mom calling me. I'll come back to finish the story. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. Let me
Yeah,
answer the
yeah.
phone.
So, but yeah, but in the meantime, that way I'll have Joshua definitely because I haven't really heard too much of how you got into the scene. I know that you pretty much were there around that time with but I said I'm not sure even before Big Boss and them, or kind of like Dogi and Coach and a few others that like y'all guys knew about the scene way before Reboot came about. So if you can tell me your perspective of like the scene, Joshua, about how it was back then with Reboot, before Reboot.
Oh man, that's quite the story. I don't know if you ever went to any of these tournaments, but one of Robin's kind of always tried to have their stuff. There was a couple throughout the Street Fighter 4 era,
Mm.
but not try to jump around too much. But one I always remember in particular was Friends on the Hill. Some Warner Robins and a
I
bar on top
yeah
of a hill.
yeah I hear about that hill that place. I actually went there one time, like but for like the other type of events. But yeah, I didn't know there used to be a place for tournaments.
Yeah, then there was even before that, before I sort of headed over to the reboot,
Mm.
there was the Room, spelled RWM.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. That was within the Peach Outlet Mall in Byron, and
Okay.
there I was. I sort of, I guess, interjected myself into, and I just not meaning to, but just they were there, and I was like, oh, finally, a place where I can come play fighting games, not only be at home. And
Mm.
there was y'all either will know Norris
Mm.
and Coach and Dogi were there. I'm pretty sure Dogi was like, "What is this mother trucker doing here?" Because the only person that would like play KI with me was Norris.
Cause how long ago was that this was?
God, that was like 2013,
Dang,
2014.
that's
Yeah,
so
this is
more than like almost 10 years ago. Dang.
yeah. Well, here's how all this really started.
Okay.
Uh and I started doing events probably like 2011, 2012. I was doing it with my good friend Brian.
Mm-hmm,
He
mm-hmm.
was doing Christian concerts. So
Okay.
pretty much I was a stagehand or whatever. Trust me, I learned a lot. Regardless if it doesn't matter if it's Christian music or mainstream music or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Music industry is always the same.
Yes.
And trust me, learning the ropes of like what the client would want, what the client's green M&M, so to speak, for like one artist would require hummus or want Red Bull in their green room. So I mean, all sorts of crazy things I've learned over the years through that. Then it
Mm.
would be about around 2012, 2013, maybe 14, give or take. I started doing conventions or whatnot. My friends were doing MGA Con at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You may have heard of it or not.
Heard
It
stories.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
uh, it did take place in the Macon Coliseum.
Yep. Yeah. 'Cause I remember. Yeah, that I heard, people talked about it for many years. I think I was around here around the time that they stopped having it, but I do remember this about the series. Yeah, and then
They
and then like King of the South was something. Oh, that was
no,
separate.
there that was separate.
Okay, 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 okay.
MGA Con was its own like little. They because my good friends that were doing that, they because they enjoyed going to con so much, they wanted to bring that here to the local area.
Okay.
And I mean, no expense paid basically in a sense, but I mean they weren't like other cons that went like completely bankrupt when
Mm,
they held it at the not too far from the Sam's Club that's in Macon, the that Goodwill convention area. They were they were making money and people were really enjoying it. I was in charge of doing like the websites and all that. I shifted over to being in charge of like the game rooms and such because just trying to keep up with the website just by myself was crazy. And the help I had at that time, he was much older than I was, and he's like, I don't get this stuff. I was like, oh, brother, shoot me. Now, it was about 2015. I met Mr. Jeremy that
okay.
owned Reboot.
Okay.
This was all like a last minute stuff because I went out and got a bunch of consoles. I literally put fighting games everywhere. It was hilarious introducing people to like Guilty Gear at that time because I owned I believe it was Xrd, just Xrd at the time
Oh yeah,
on the
yeah.
PlayStation 4. I had KI in one spot, and then I had and the other screen was I believe it was Injustice,
Okay.
Gods Among Us. And then we
Um.
had several arcade machines. And my good buddy, that was the one of the main owners. He was telling me about Jeremy and all that, and about Reboot. I was like, oh, I haven't heard about this place before. So, and I mean, we got all the arcade machines set up. Great. It was a great time, but sadly, after that year, even though they did make money, it wore them out.
Mm,
But I think their their ambitions are they went too hard in the beginning. They should have probably started out light, but it's kind of how it goes sometimes.
okay.
Then after about that, Street Fighter Five comes around.
Uh,
I'm just playing it here and there. My good buddy uh, Joshua,
Mm.
he's a you either might remember him. He participated in some of the earlier reboot tournaments for Street Fighter Five.
What's your
In
gamer tag?
uh, God, I can't remember off the top of my head now. Oh, give me a second here. I'm trying to remember. It,
I
I
think.
can't remember.
I
Go
think. I think I might know. Oh, who do you play?
He was playing Fong at the time.
Oh, I think I remember. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
That would have been like
17.
2017,
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. Because that's when I sort of like popped up and started coming and all that. And somehow y'all adopted me in being the TO staff. I don't know what y'all were thinking when y'all did that, but here we are.
like, do you want to join our party? Like in the JRPG, do you want to join our party and go save the world?
No, I was the optional character like Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. I was in a coffin sleeping. Y'all just broke into the daggum house and woke me up. Fine, fine. I'll go help y'all defeat chaos. God.
Yeah. I still might put up the chat too, but yeah. So because cause Chris was like saying that we should have got more KI in. The thing is that we actually might have that brought back at some point because we have a Smash player that plays KI, and then he got beat by one of our best KI players recently. So we'll see what happens from there. But
I
yeah,
gotta start practicing again.
but then that's the thing, because yeah, like I said, KI was actually one of the early games during, especially during the Sunday Fun Day, because around that time, like I said, I think if I remember coming from my angle, because I was from the Smash background while I was doing Smash tournaments with the Mercer Group around 2014 and up until Reboot opened up. And then I remember when they started doing the Sunday Fun Days, and I actually got a picture um, right here when when the very first tournament. I got second place in MK2. So that's
Nice.
yeah, and then that's when like just they literally took out the cabinet to the side, and the like it was like super old school. It like the for the venue to this day in a sense too, that vibe about it was really what drew a lot of people in, which I really liked. And so with how the formation of the reboot group,
Mhm.
everything is it's starting to feel like a blur now. It's crazy because like it's 5 years, about 5 years since we kind of got into formation. Well, because we officially become Reboot Retrocade Gaming until 2018,
Yeah.
but around 2017, like I said, me and you, Ricardo, met at the bar, and then we just chat up and everything, and as you know, Sunday Funny was happening, and shortly after Street Fighter 5 came out, well, no, the season 1 and all, we were like, hey, let's try to do a season 5, Street Fighter 5 tournament. Um, so having that was like a good that spark for the scene because, of course, having a arcade having a tournament, it felt that natural. It felt like natural again to have it in that venue.
Mhm.
Like I said, in comparison to stuff like the primetime gaming or Comics Plus or like Vigilante, it's very common to have that type of setting in like a fight tournament setting in those type of areas, but to have it at the official like gaming venue with like the main purpose is that hey, you drink and play games, and rather than like okay, you gotta buy cars and buy this and so forth in addition, it felt more natural to me. But like I said, with primetime gaming with Comics Plus, that still adds some history of keeping some type of competition alive because that's pretty much how I've been thriving because arcade days are not around anymore. But no, back to the main topic at hand with getting to the scene, it's really interesting how much of a history Middle Georgia does have in comparison to Augusta, Atlanta, which they've been around since the '90s. Because they have much older players like, of course, Larry Shimblaka, who's actually almost 50 now. You have Kraken and the Data Crew. You have those guys that have been around like they actually like many of them as far as I know like even Shadowways many of us we're they formed around or got involved in the scene overall in like 2014 13 or 15 like that for me it felt like we're like very more recent in comparison but from what you're telling me we actually been around longer than expected so it'll be much of 10 years of Middle Georgia history versus 5 or something like that. So, to have that, that type of history and yeah, how everything formed, it felt like everything just like went, everything just constantly just felt like a blur to me. Cause the only thing I do have pictures, but yeah, the kind of going into it, like, we talk about the how it was back in the Comic Plus basement days because we were at Reboot initially, but I remember that the reason why we had to move out was because at the time they didn't find a way to accommodate for what we were trying to do, and apparently we kind of outgrew them, if I remember. If you remember that, Ricardo or Big Boss,
Yeah.
and we end up in the basement days, which to me it was funny because like those moments. Uh, and look, oh yeah, you see like right there, like you have Camden with that hairstyle, young Camden, Hood looked the same, Brandon, young Brandon. So, Ricardo, what was your moments, memories, fun memories from being in the basement of Comics Plus?
Remember at Commerce Plus they had the little room, that little small room.
Oh wait, hold on, wait, did you go? Because
But that's especially with Tekken. That
mm-hmm,
was the room that we had like losers.
yep.
so so we put it set up in that small room. So on the loser side, everybody was in the small room.
As
Like
you,
that was hilarious.
oh
That
man.
was hilarious. I like yeah, there it is.
Damn,
Like,
y'all really punished the losers, didn't you?
Yeah.
hmm?
So the thing about it though,
Hey, I
because
won out of there.
mm-hmm. The thing about it though, because a lot of people kind of realize is because that area is basically based on the subway train stations. back then.
Cause there's like tunnels like down
Right.
there, like behind those doors that we never just open up.
Mm-hmm.
I think like one day, like me and Chambers, I think, and
Mm.
Cameron like just opened up the door and it was just like a long ass tunnel, and we
Yep.
was like, it was like nope, just close
And
this.
right. Yeah. It was fun because like the thing about it like of course at the time is yeah it was dark dingy what you call it but still it was interesting just to really have that type of establishment and I, I mean it's really like it says because it's kind of like still fitting the narrative of the of the community as far as the grassroots because many of these type of events starting out or having their beginnings is always some type of garage or basement or some dark places or somebody's house
Yeah,
and so forth and I'm not saying
and
we're proud to have that but I think
I say.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can go more about it because like it was fun. Like for the moments that the good moments that we had, making fun of it, with the losers section and all that stuff. Yeah, it was interesting because it was
And
some fun
add that
moments.
to it.
Go ahead.
But yeah, add that little swagger to it. Just being that little corner right there, having both rooms,
Mm.
the both huge rooms, and then of course with it being at Comics Plus, we got more people that we still see to this day that still come about. Ricky, um, that's when I think Uday and Em and all of them started coming around, and they was bringing some of their friends. Uh,
Yeah.
Hutch started coming.
Yep. Hutch.
Hutch started coming. Um, Yeah, like, and of course, y'all know Hutch came through and started became one of our TOs as well to the
Mm.
listeners. Man, like a lot of people started coming through when we was at Comics Plus, and then of course, what I noticed on a personal level with me, I date back. I always go back to final round, 2014.
Mm-hmm.
I always look at it on the as the years went on. Final round in 2014, I was by myself. I think that was fifth final round 15.
Yeah, cause I think it usually is a
Final round
yeah,
17
yeah.
was
You're
Street
right.
Fighter.
Yeah.
Final round 17 was Street Fighter with the Street Fighter 1,000 plus people, right?
Um, I think that was I was like 18, 19 for that one. Wait, let's see, because this would have been final round 23 or if everything went as it was, because the last final round was 21.
Yeah.
So yeah, so kind of
So,
like a year or number like
yeah.
so 16, 17, final round
Okay, seven.
17. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so final round 16 was my very first one. I was legit lonely by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Around 17, my college friends and a couple of the Alabama FGC, I roomed with them and my best friends. Final round 18, that's I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here.
Mm-hmm.
They just came back, and then of course, it was you, Malcolm, Benji. It was just only really y'all four at the time. Then 19 came. That's when we went as an official group. Me, you, Adrian.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, and had the hotel.
which I actually just posted the picture a few days ago on a Throwback Thursday,
mm.
and I gotta find it because I know it's here. It's here
I
somewhere. Oh my god! But and I just posted it how we was all in the concourse walking, and we just got a selfie. It was just like just all of us.
man, man, oh
And like
man.
I was like, yeah, like man, we're coming by. Of course we're growing,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
man, I can't find it now, but it's there. And like it was a lot of us. It's about 7 or 8 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, final round 20, we of course went again as a group, but this time we was up under the Reboot banner.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course 21, the Saucy Suite. Whew. But
Yeah, I know, right?
and this is just the tidbit, unfortunately a nasty tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
But final round 18, we didn't. Me and my friends didn't stay at the Hilton, so we
Mm-hmm.
stayed across the interstate, and that's the same hotel and event that Joshua knows about this. with the had the I guess the sex convention thing.
No, okay, hold on. It is we will bring out the proper name since they wanted to label it as such. It was called the Leather Leadership Conference. Thank you very much. God, I'll never forget that.
Bruh. Oh
I don't
yeah.
know, seeing people with dog collars being, you know, being tugged on by other people and this and that. And like, of course, you got all the Japanese players, like you seeing like Daigo and Takedo in the lobby, and they're looking around like, what the heck? What the hell? Like, what is
Now to the viewers, this took place at the other hotel that was
yeah,
across the highway. This did take place at the Hilton, to be where Final Round most of the time has been at. To be fair,
that was hilarious. Like, it was so hilarious. And then like me and my best friends, we got a room there. Of
Mhm.
course, we had. And like we went to we was just trying to make our living situations feeling, to accommodate 4 or 5 people in the room. And we pull a chair back and there's like used panties and an open condom and the condom sitting there on the floor and shit. And we're like, what the
Uh,
fuck? And we was like, and knowing them, I love my best friends from Alabama, from college, and still my best friends and brothers to this day. It just I can still picture everything that was said and just in vivid 4K HD. It was like, ew, what, ew, no, oh, no, bro, oh, hell no, oh, no, no, no. So, of
oh
course,
boy.
got out the room. We still, I still say, unfortunately, still had to use that room. But, we got out the room for a bit. They went in there and detailed cleaned the room from top to bottom. Then they gave us access to the suite at the very top floor, where basically all the pro players they go and eat breakfast, all this fun
Mm.
stuff, yada yada blah blah. And they gave us a few other free accommodations here and there. So
Hmm.
every morning I'm up there, rubbing shoulders with God knows who at the time, top players at the time up there, just eating breakfast, shooting the shits and stuff. But man, that's just a little funny nasty tidbit because I knew it would get a pop out of Jeshua because he talks
I'll let you tell your story. You don't want to hear me.
Oh
about.
Lord.
I was like, I know it's going to get a pop out of Joshua. Let me explain it. But besides the point,
Mhm.
like I said, on a personal level, just seeing how far not only myself but as the Middle Georgia scene has just grown with every
Oh
tournament
yeah.
gone to, and just like, yo, look at this camaraderie, and look just how big we're getting. And even like you talk about the ATL scene, how they just see, oh, the making guys are here. To going, oh hey, the making guys are here. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, y'all. Everything like so. Just seeing that level of progression, like level up, level up, level up, level up, +2, not one this time, but +2.
Yeah.
Like
Cause.
just leveling up. And hopefully, after seeing Pope Chalk's post yesterday, last night, I
Mhm.
don't know what we got planned next year, but I'm excited and ready for it.
Oh
Because
yeah.
my thing is, it might be a tournament. Because looking at that post, so I'm ready. But we're not talking about that. That'll be down the road,
Right.
But I was just that was just a quick tidbit on just the progression
Yeah.
of
Oh no
how
no, you're good. That's
and it's going to keep growing and growing and growing as long as our passion is still there and everybody else's passion is still there. It's just going to continue to grow.
definitely. Cause I actually did find some pictures of the time when we were out and about at Final Round. So of course, remember.
Korean barbecue.
Yep.
Kurt staying in the hotel with his robe on.
Yep. But also, of course, Mr. Leon, who was the manager at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time.
Leon. Oh man. Just
uh,
opening the wine bottle. Now, I'm not going to lie. I love that he came because with him
That
being so
man, I'll never
Soul
forget
Calibur
that.
and with Soul Calibur being at Final Round that last year we went and he got the chance to meet and hang out with the absolute best of the best. Like that was a highlight for me as well. Just seeing him that happy hanging out with the best of the best, get some training and
oh man, seeing this
like,
man.
I love it.
But yeah,
But
this was it. Final round.
shower trying to get a wine bottle open with a hanger.
Oh
Oh
Lord.
God, Broken Alliance shirt.
Yes.
Well, yeah, cause yeah, we actually had another picture of y'all
Yeah,
guys at the final round and stuff. Yeah, we had like us, Malcolm. I think because Malcolm was on stream
yeah.
during that.
Malcolm played on stream, and I was back there coaching him up.
Yep. If I can, I just uploaded it, but yeah, I was going to the little picture gallery. But definitely, that's one of the fun moments. Going there and then with the homies. It was like we were like 15 people at least, and that's pretty much still one of my favorite final rounds. I'll say.
you, you lost to the future Evo champion.
Yep. That.
Um,
Oh yeah, I did remember that Bon Chan.
I got 0-2 by Phenom, but best believe at the end of each round, he had at least 5% or less health
Mm-hmm.
after every single match. So I was like, and Neon was sitting there looking at me. He was like, "Don't feel bad, dude. You pushed him to the limit." So I'm like, "Cool, I will take that." And of course, almost eliminating Alice Myers the year prior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Now
remember that.
that was the first final round as well, when we all went as a group as well.
Yeah, I need to
Everybody was behind me
mm,
and Alice Myers just cheering on her. And I'm like, okay, I got this. I got this. Oh man, I'm not anti-airing. I'm losing. Oh wait, I got a round. Oh, it's out to the final round of the final match. Oh dang, I lost. But and of course that one picture as well that we got when we was all sitting at the bar, and we all
um uh,
that was iconic photo. I like that one. That was one of my favorite photos and moments as well.
yeah, I definitely for sure. Um
Nobody went below 500. We had top tier matches. Man, that was fun.
yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I
And
thought, uh,
Hutch lost his phone.
wait, what happened?
Twice. Hutch lost his phone
Oh
twice.
yeah, I remember that. He
Found
lost
it. We found
it.
the shuttle. Like we found it on the shuttle. Turn around, use the shuttle again, and he loses it again. And tell me why I'm at work giving him hell.
Man, it was crazy. It was funny though. Like I said, I was like, it was crazy. At the same time, for our beginnings was the pretty much the same time like when we pretty much started to expand and going out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so but like I don't go to gesture for a bit. So from because what was your first final round, Joshua?
I believe it was fought around 16.
Okay,
This was when Street Fighter 4 was still around and all that. So I
yeah, okay, yeah. I think we went. For me, I think it was the year before Street Fighter Five came out, if I remember. But yeah, um, yeah. So how was that? If you
for the
don't,
most part it was good. Now just for because just to make a long story short for the viewers, final round is had, I'll say right at that time was a great tournament experience, but for whatever reason, and this is just the way the community was, and Shin Blanca trying to address a lot of the issues over the years, it really burnt him out. So that's why
mm-mm.
I don't think we're going to see any more final rounds. Plus, he has a kid, but each year it just seemed like now there was one year I missed. That was the when during Street Fighter 4 era when the Capre was revealed. That was and Ono was there, and I wanted to get my autograph, and I didn't know, so I missed out on that. So
I
boo
missed.
hoo to me. Oh well.
I was there, and I got some DiCaprio t-shirts.
Damn you. Damn you. Anyways,
Reinhardt won.
Mm-mm.
yeah, that was the year I watched that. He's God, good God, that man. Probably one of the best Scott players out there, if not still the best. He just each year was good, but just it just seemed like less and less vendors got there, and just I just I guess the relationships between the companies and everything was getting strained out. I mean, was it not 19 or was it 19 or 20 was at the convention center? And I
Uh,
mean,
it was both.
I want to say 19. I remember it was yeah Cause
Yeah, it probably was 19
no,
because
no,
I
no.
remember
Yeah,
We was at a
because
convention
20
center.
was the last one.
I'm sorry. So what? Yeah, yeah. So I went to 19. Cause I remember like 2, 3 years before I switched back to the hotel. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because it went back to the hotel in 2019 is where I remember that daggum For Honor tournament and Sonic Fox and his I don't know if it was his
Yeah.
friend or boyfriend at the time. Me and the other guy had to fight him, and I was like, my God. I give Shin Blanca props for like bringing that game to an FGC event, but I mean, it gets annoying when games require online play just to work. Like you have to set up a mini network just for that to work. That was the only like my biggest gripe for that, and the wait times for some of the tournaments. Oh, all right. I don't want to talk too much. One of my favorite memories, though,
Go
it
for
was
it.
probably final round 16 or 17.
Mm.
This is when Shadow Jago got released. He was a separate character, but he still did the same thing regular Jago did. So he didn't do any like the crazy Akuma stuff,
Mm.
even the that you see him do nowadays. But this was the year. Give me a second. I'm going to look this up and I'm going to post a link to it. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I gotta find it. I know it's here.
We'll go back to the main title. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Yeah. I said I wish I was there. It was weird for me because I didn't realize Final Round was in Atlanta the whole time until Marvel 3 came out or Ultimate Marvel came out, and I saw the tournament when the Japanese player Kosuro beat the bricks out of the top American players, and and then I looked at the banner. I was like Atlanta, Georgia. I'm like what? And I'm like wait, this isn't Atlanta the whole time. As far as how I got to know about Final Round and the FGC, and then I remember going there with me and my Mercer classmates at the time, and talking to Cloud 805, and we just had a really chill talk for like a good hour. It felt really cool, and I felt like I was already involved with the scene, even though I didn't know much about it yet. So to really dive into it afterwards, to the point where I started to understand the competitive aspect of the games, and to kind of like follow up on that, many years later with the Smash scene, and then of course meeting Big Boss and everyone from Middle Georgia FCC, and then as you know, we end up having you know this formed after many years later. So it's really interesting though, and especially like how Final Round what has been one of the biggest like opposite moments. Like everyone was there, and halftime we didn't know that we were from the same town or area. But yeah, so yeah, what or so you said so you have your favorite scenes, moments and stuff from within Final Round, or you already said that to Carlo, yeah. But yeah, um,
But I
go ahead.
was well, but to that, I will say one of my favorite memories was playing against Alex Myers.
Yeah, I
That was one of my favorites.
I'll find this another time. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. No, I was pretty much talking about my perspective how I got into Final Round, and I think like that was pretty much where it's many of us met each other, and or at the same time we was like right next to each other the whole time. Then found out we was in Macon and or was in Warren Robin. Like we lived in the same area the whole time. But yeah, so it was really really good memories. Definitely my favorite moments in Final Round. I would say um, the first year, yeah, I said that like Big Boss was saying when we all went in for Street Fighter, Tekken, Dragon Ball, and Smash. Then no one went 0-2, and oh, the of course the famous or infamous, however you look at it, K Brad versus Wolf Chrome.
Ooh.
Oh God, I love that. God, I was in the crowd watching that,
We
chanting.
8 minutes of fame.
Man, that moment was crazy. I remember being right there on the side, and I saw people going really. Cause I remember like when that happened, all I heard was like, "Yo, K. Brad and Wolfgang about to play each other," and it was like a school fight, and everyone just like ran right to the stage, right behind them. Man, that moment, huh?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying like, I remember like listening to the commentary on the side, like on the phone, whatever. And when that was over, all I heard is loud screaming, and you saw K. Brad just standing up. From my view, this was like standing up, and like everybody like, boy, man, that definitely was a highlight for me.
But
K. Brad was just sitting right there in front of in his face. Well, he's like, "What you want to say now? What you want to say now? Go ahead, say it. Come on, no, you want to." I'm like, K. Brad, if you're gonna kiss him, just kiss him. No, but I mean, he was right there in his face. Oh
yeah,
man, Wolfram got what he deserved. So, to be fair,
but like I was next to one of the TOs,
Mm-hmm.
and they was like, "Oh crap!" And they looked at the bracket. It was like K. Brad got to play Wolfcrone first, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And I went on hands and carried my spot like legit right to the right side of them. And I screenshotted the picture. Like I was watching the stream, and I screenshotted the picture where I was standing right there next to everybody, and like Li Joe was there. Like this, uh, what's his name?
anybody that was an American Street Fighter player
Everybody.
at that time and era was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Oh
and
man.
like. And I was like, man, I gotta see this. I gotta see because now at that time I started becoming more proficient in the scene, like starting to know everybody, start to see what was going on, the rivalries or who's who and all that. So I was like, yo, I gotta get up there and I gotta see this.
Oh man.
So I screenshotted a picture of me on the stream sitting next to everybody. Well, standing it, I didn't sit down. I stood next to everybody. And I was literally right off camera. I was right behind him, and I was recording on my phone when K. Brad beat Wolf Crone and got in his face, and I
Mm,
was
mm,
sitting
mm,
right
mm.
there recording it. And he gave all of us a doubt after he walked off. He said he saw his agent at the time, and he was
Uh-huh.
like, his agent, and he's like, I gotta shake his hand, like, because if his agent wasn't there, he would have been like, yeah, f you,
Right.
I asked. But he gave, he shook his hand. Then he came over, started dapping all of us up,
Mm.
and I was like, "Yo," I was, I'm literally, I was like, "I'm literally standing right here for all of this." Like,
Oh
I am.
boy.
Let's go.
Whoo
And like,
boy.
yeah,
Never forget, man. Never forget. Iconic moment.
yes,
um
like that's yeah. But
mhm.
it's just I happen to be at the right place at the right time just to hear, "Hey, K. Brad has to play Wolf Pro." Okay, cool. Let me go grab me a spot.
Mm, mm, mm.
Just put on a chair up here. Let's see what's about to happen.
Yep. So oh sorry. So I know we talked about favorite moments in the final round. What were the favorite moments here though? About the Middle Jordan scene? What moments once especially once reboot pretty much became a big thing. What were your favorite moments or little errors here? Big Boss, I'll start with you since I know you're head out soon.
I would say our first tournament. Our first tournament. Well, that's one of the highlights was our first tournament.
I think
Because
I
we had
pictured that.
huge turnout. Like, I mean, we've always had huge turnouts, but that right there was just, I'll call it season premiere
Oh no, that's what
or, or
that's what
series.
that's what we played Tekken. I
And
think.
and then of course you had Second World Tour. I couldn't stay for that one because my doggone bosses wouldn't give me that day off. So I came for a little bit. I think I played my winner side, but I missed out on my loser side because I had to go to work.
Uh,
That's what speed kicks came down for. Um,
I wish. I think I want to say we have. I know we have videos. I want to say, but oops, fix that.
but like that was fun. What else? Then
There we go.
the second World Tour tournament that came through, and I My pop off. That's personal for me. I had a big old huge pop off when I beat old buddy.
Mm.
That was so much hype. And then I won again in the next match. I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh my god. I was like, this is actually become a thing.
Oh
And then
man.
I won that match, and then I lost my next two. But Noctis Lucis Kyom did his thing those days. It was mainly Tekken for me. Street Fighter, only the Cherry Blossom come to mind when I think of Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe, oh crap, here it is again. A game I can't escape. Every one of my big highlight moments come from Tekken. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, also the Red Bull.
woo, that's one thing I forgot to mention in my intro. You put a microphone and camera in front of me, yeah, you already know
That
about it.
that was actually cool. I had no idea that. Oh man.
Because I will be a hype man. Y'all will look at me like, Carter, what are you doing? I'm trying to hype the scene up, y'all. I'm trying to get eyes on us. So
Mm.
let's do this. But yeah, Red Bull. So that's in how I discovered Tekken. Because it was free to enter. I went 0-2 in Street Fighter, but I somehow lost to a team killed a Hutch in Tekken. So, and I was beating people with once again beating people with Noctis,
Mm.
and I never trained for it, never trained for it, and I went to
Plus,
an
no one
org.
ever trained up for that matchup either.
It was about 100 ors, about 80 something people, and I finished 33rd.
Mm.
So I was like, I gotta play Tekken now. But that was also a highlight, getting to hang out with what's her face and do MC duties with her.
Oh, Persia and yeah, and
Yeah,
Vicious. Mm.
Persian MC duties as well, you know, and then of course wearing our good ass Tekken shirts. Everybody wondered where we got it from, but
Dang. I remember. Yeah, I still got mine. Mine's still kind of worn a little bit.
and it's kind of yeah, mine is RIP. So, but man, that was an experience. I wish we could have got another. I don't know why we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, of course, probably the business decision behind the scenes, all the type of stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, like I said, pretty much at the start of it, I think once Reboot was officially created, this is one of the pictures from our tournament, the first tournament, I think. You know, and then of course, yeah, because that's how I got the little phone, well, quote unquote megaphone from when I went to Evo.
oh
And
yeah,
um,
that moment, that was another reboot moment too because Hutch got to play on stream,
yeah,
and I couldn't make it because I
dang,
just had surgery.
yeah, that was dang. Like it's so much that happened on that first year. Then of course, more pictures. You had the homies, Ben, Benji, Bloodman in the gray. Then Eric Boutte.
I think I was there for this.
Yeah,
Can't
this
remember.
I think this was our first big tournament at Reboot after we left Comics Plus,
Yeah,
and it was really crazy.
and we officially became Reboot Retrocade Gaming.
It, yeah, it's so much had happened in that year. It was really interesting, like transition. Yeah, I mean, I have tons, plenty more pictures, but yeah, like I said,
Yeah,
there we go. Then we have people like Bates, Kyle, Painbot, Darius.
like everything. What I knew how we hooked that Atlanta scene
Mm-hmm,
was
mm-hmm.
when the Atlanta people would come on down, and then they was popping off whenever there was an ATL or making and versus an ATL player. They started because our players, for example, come to Tekken.
Mm-hmm.
What was it Hood? Who Hood beat somebody?
Oh, Bates and oh, talking about like down here. I remember
Yeah,
when,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was a mirror match,
Yes.
and
Oh
we
Lord.
actually that popped up in my memories. Actually, that actually happened. about 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, because what happened? Because Joel was there.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, Joel was
Because
there.
what happened was like we when Hood took the game off of Big Bates, and then everybody like, let's go Hood, and then I saw I got the video, and it was so funny because I saw Joel was like get surrounded by all the Mexican people. They like yeah, let's go Hood, let's go Hood. He ended up joining it.
Yeah, because like then when I knew when Joel jumped in and Bates and all them started jumping, I said this is about to be something big. Like, cause now it's like now the ATL people finally, cause you know when we meet a scene like that, they're not gonna automatically go,
Uh-uh.
you know, stuff like that. You know, you got to earn respect.
Mm.
So I think that was the day was the ones that was there finally earned our respect. It was like, you know what, these guys can go. Like even if sometimes they can't beat us, they're gonna keep coming back,
Mm-hmm.
and they get better every time they come back. And they seem it's just they stay hyped and they love it, and they have just like how they say we grassroots. Like no matter what, we're gonna have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And when they started seeing that, they was like, hey, you know, we like this here. And like they say it all the time, they love Reboot because they come down, have fun, have a drink,
Mm-hmm.
all that. And you know, it feels like we're at home. And it's like I always tell people, how come we always using Reboot so much? And you know, at the time, I'm like, we treat Reboot like if it was our home. We leave the place better than how we find it. You know, when we get there.
Yeah.
So and you know, and people, you know, they like to be around that type of atmosphere. So when they come through, like I said, all the silliness and goofiness ensues, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's all just having fun. The rivalries, the yelling, all that stuff. But like I said, at the end of the day, we all shake hands, hug, laugh, and just have fun. But man, that day, because that was the same event for me as well when I won too, and I kind of got a little pop off. I was like, wow, this is my first big huge takeaway. Besides taking that one match off Poke Chop before the pandemic, but
I'm just going
that
through more pictures. Yeah.
yeah, okay, go through the picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just so much freaking fun.
Mm.
And of course,
Mm.
even though we've been saying it for like the past year, probably about the past 6 to 12 months now, everything is finally opening back up. People
Mm-hmm.
are finally starting to go out more. Things are starting to come back.
Right.
It's only gonna grow even more. You know, it's just gonna grow even more. So just to see all this camaraderie and then getting all the other cities involved as well.
Mm.
I can't, even though Final Round might be going for good. Rest in peace. I missed the hell out of Final Round, Larry. To me, you did an amazing job.
Mm.
I loved every bit of it. Got me in the FGC, but I can see there's still, you know, Georgia FGC as a whole is about to come back. I see it, and not just for us,
Mm.
but just as a whole. And I
I,
feel like we're going to be right there with them. Reboot's going to be right there, helping out.
yeah. Uh, I definitely agree with that. It feels it feels weird, but considering the era that things as it is in now, you know, and you pretty much kind of touched on it. Is that how pretty much we started out having these histories of all these places with many of the card shops, to the arcade scene, arcade with barcade and whatnot. And like I said, the fact that looking at it now, we have legitimately like
Oh yeah,
the city now and being involved with what we're doing. We're trying to have the esports stuff to get established and underway, and then having people in the official, city officials to really like be involved and support us. Like that's something that really, in the span of 5 years, it's still surreal to me. So,
and
for
if I may sneak in there as well to the
mm-mm,
listeners, we've had our ups and trust me, we've had our share of ups and downs here and there.
mm-mm,
Oh
But
yeah.
at the same time, you know, just the growth from it and some, you know, it's like, hey, can't stop me now and all that fun stuff, you know, just gonna keep on going.
mm-hmm,
And yeah, that's it.
yeah. So, but yeah, Joshua, what were your favorite moments within the scene have you experienced, or is it, whether it has affected you or that you really enjoyed?
Say, and I wish Mr. Leon was here to hear this, but I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed our rivalry in Soul Calibur 6 because when Soul Calibur got announced, for those that may not know, like when arcades were still around, like
Mm-hmm.
during the 90s or whatever, Soul Calibur 1 and Soul Calibur 2 were like in the arcades, but I was also getting them on console at the time. But yeah, Soul Calibur was like the first fighting game I fell in love with via the arcades while they were still around, and not being just a young kid. But I will say this: our rivalry was quite something I enjoyed, and that's something I'm glad I had and helped me grow as a player to a degree. But I'll say this: even a more funnier moment was it was probably I don't know if it was our first Soul Calibur 6 tournament or the second one. I get second place. I'm like, wait, I got money? I got I got the dough. It was like $10, I think it was, but I'm like, oh my god, I can have Chef Boyardee today. No more top ramen.
Oh boy.
Another thing, and even
Uh
though and I pushed so hard in this game, and I was beating my head against the wall for this one, but it did make me better as a player too. Samurai Showdown. Oh man, that was a trip.
Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's a game
a
that
memory, a thing down memory lane. I forgot to mention was that, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you explain that.
Oh yeah.
but
Go ahead.
but probably one of the best. It's definitely in our top five, I would say. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you would agree with it or not, but it was the final. It was, I think, the first Sam Show tournament we had, and with Big Bates and
Yes.
old Payne bought with
Yes,
you. It
that.
was literally the classic
Mm-hmm.
rivalry. Both these dudes are roommates
Yes.
till this day. You had Painbot playing Hamuro, and you had Big Bates playing Genjiro. For those that don't know, that's literally the Ryu and Ken of the game. And my God, that top eight went down to the reset. It was just a clash of swords back and forth.
The videos is in my head from beginning to end. I can quote like either commentary. No, shout outs to Doki and Mr. Annual or aka Coach for commentating that because the commentary was on point. The match was intense to the point where the close moments, the scramble, the clutches, bruh. I remember
You had
me, D Legend, Ronald, Camden, Camden especially. And I remember at one point, it was like the Easton happened, and it was the first time everyone saw that move, and it went black, and everybody like, oh snap, oh, and then the way he finished the round after that whole scramble, like D Legend, Ronald, they ran out of the
Man, you want to talk about probably if we got noise complaints whatsoever, probably from
Shoot.
that day.
Yeah,
My God, everybody was screaming, cheering. Whew.
boy. And then Canada acted silly, like take half his health. Yeah, he did like a. Oh boy, he's like that man just kicked you. The the backyard commentary. Oh man, and then like Canada reenacting the sword moments. Oh man, it was. Oh man, that whole thing was just hype. I loved it. Like I said, I was telling Bates and Paintball about that because pretty much that whole thing kind of sparked where then at the same time Neil made his debut around that year
Young
and
Neil, your son, the prodigy.
Young Neil at the time.
and look at this kid now. Yeah, we're claiming him in Middle Georgia because he's living here for the moment. I know he's in college, but already recent and this year, CEO and very recently Climax at Night. He won Sam Show tournaments. Like that kid. The thing is, he's just turned 21 this year. Like that was the other thing too, like having the new generation of players, to get involved with the scene now. You know, you have those are growing up. Like Lucas, who's the MK, pretty much, um, prodigy, because he was like 20. He wasn't 21 either at the time when he came through. He looks tall, but and stuff, but no, he was very young.
Young Neil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
You
a
don't have to be known as Neil, Young Neil no more. You just be simply known as Neil.
just new. But it speaks of volumes, though. The fact that when we're forming something like this, and next thing you have the new generation of players. You have now HC Chris, you have Databane, you have Neil, you have Lucas. I know he moved to Florida, but still, we still claim him in a sense. You had pretty much these newcomers and new generation. I say even when we'll definitely I'll have champs and them talk about it, but obviously one of the big one was for me Tony. Tony within the Tekken
Tony.
rivalry. That era in itself is his own episode for sure because holy shit.
It
Just
felt like the whole street. It felt like Street Fighter 3 all over again when all the new people coming in, and it's like, oh, new people, and then it's like, wait, who are all these new people? And then you're like, oh wow, they were actually pretty good.
yeah. But the thing is, with Tony, I would say, and this is a touch on what's going to happen in the episode featuring the Tekken guys, the bigger Tekken guys, is that the fact that he never played a fighting game.
Yeah,
That was his very first game, fighting game. And the thing is, he was like a first person shooter person. And when I remember when Tekken 7 came out and he was working on Reboot and he was seeing what's going on and he kept asking, about the game and everything. And I remember that I used to got so annoyed that he kept asking to borrow my PS4. I'm like, well, fine, if you want to, here's the video of Poke Chop, here's this and that. Because I was tired of seeing Tekken initially. Like, I wanted to have other games featured at the scene. I was selfish at the time. I'll definitely admit that. I was like, Tekken 7, that's all I want to play, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's some Street Fighter maybe, but I want to see some other games. But no, it's Tony and having to borrow my PS4 for that Tekken. But little did I knew that it led to where, one, he actually learned how to play the game to the point where he started beating everybody and made everybody mad with his trash talk, for sure. And then two, the fact that, like I said, around the time when we're traveling, of course we've been traveling like to find around on separate occasions, but when we start traveling together, I think that's where it kind of led to where we started bonding together more um, as a team. And since like, okay, we're going to Gwinnett Brawl, so let's practice against this character, this player type of thing. All right, let's do this. Like going up there, still, I think going up to Gwinnett Brawl and having then like example like Tony taking on Pochop was my favorite moment. Pochop could not have gone easy on him, but still for us to at least gain a win over Porkchop, and then of course many of y'all guys also that beat Porkchop, took a game off him and like that over time. But for having that moment with Tony, as much he never played a fighting game, to the fact he ended up fighting Porkchop, that was a personal highlight for me. And I think it's really how like it's a milestone. Like hey, we can play too. Like you were saying, no, Big Boss. We that respect of what we're trying to do for our scenes and try to expand the horizon and become better. So yeah, but I did want to talk about. Well, we did kind of touch the base on it though. Of how do you think how has the fighting FGC experience, especially here, affected you guys' lives? How it affected y'all guys' lives? Big Boss, I'll start with you since and then I'll do with you, Gesture.
All right.
I love the fact that people starts becoming more interested in what especially what I do
Mm-hmm.
with it and everything. When it comes to the people that I know that don't really do gaming like that, like example, my family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews, they do gaming, but they don't do fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the fighting game aspect, because all of them, all they do is play is shooters,
Mm-hmm.
uh, anime. That's really it. But like me on my side, I'm fighting games and go kart racing.
Right, right.
But they was like, hey, we need to come out one of these days. Which in one day, my mom, my sister, and my nephew did come to one tournament. She did not know what the heck was going on.
I th-
First time I played Data Bane too,
yeah, that was last year, right?
and
Yeah.
Base Disciple. What's his name? Dang it, with Data. And I always forget his name. Why do I always forget his name? I know it starts with a K.
You,
And
you said base. You said
one of the guys that runs Data, I keep forgetting his
Kraken, Markup.
Kraken, yeah.
Yeah.
And I played Kraken that day too in Guilty Gear because it was the Leo,
Oh,
it was the Leo and Potemkin matchup, and he
Lord,
ran me out of my super to win the set, and it was on the final round of the final match of that set. And
man.
after my second hit on my super, and like I did not know he could do that, like my mouth dropped. But at the same time, my mouth dropped. I started smiling. I was like, "Wow, that was badass." But
Boy.
even some of my closest best friends, like they don't do any type of gaming, but they always ask, "When's your next tournament? How do you do? What's your mindset going in? How you feeling? I know I'm not gonna be able to make it, but good luck. Keep me up there." All that stuff. Starts
Hmm.
coming from everybody
Yeah.
that's not even into gaming, and they ask me 21 questions. The week leading up to it, and even afterwards, how did you play? What happened? What went wrong? Were they just bad? All that stuff. The whole shebang bang come from it. Because especially I tell them everything that this LGC has gone through and what we've done to
Hmm.
build and see how much we've come from it. It's like, wow, this is kind of serious. This is kind of legit. Like, yo, it looks like a lot of fun because you know, I always say, of course we can make money off of this, but do things you like to do that, if you can make money off of things you love doing, why not? So,
Yeah.
or of course, and of course, and it's kind of an escape from everything else that we do in this world. So
Hmm.
why not why not do it with friends and loved ones? Like shoot, why not? So, and when those outside people look at this stuff, they get interested in it. Even my coworkers, because I know Hutch started it, where a lot of our coworkers from the hospital used to come
Hmm.
tournament. And even now, with him being at Piedmont, across the river, the old Coliseum,
Right.
a lot of the doctors and nurses from there come out now. So,
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Nice.
if you've noticed that, Kurt, like a lot of them come out
Right. He does. He do. He do introduce me to some of the coworkers and stuff. But yeah, I
because
yeah.
even some of my homies from Amazon now, they was like, "Hey, Cardo, send me your schedule and send me, you know, tournament dates. Me and the guys, we gonna come through. Stuff like that." I'm like, "Shoot, that's what's up." I set them the schedule, setting them my schedule. Like, "Hey, these are the days I can make. These are the days I'm gonna miss. These are the days I'm gonna kind of miss, but I'm gonna get there after work. Like, I can't really compete because
Right.
by the time I get there, I'm either being A losers or I'm gonna be DQ. So, but I'm gonna still come through." They're all like, okay, bet, cool, we'll come, we'll all come through, we'll have a drink, we'll watch everything, the whole nine.
Yeah.
So, just to see people interested in what you're doing, kind of put a bright spot on you, warms your heart a little bit, like, wow, you guys care. Like, here's your on stage moment where you got your flowers. You love this. You really, really love me and love this. Stuff like
Right.
that.
Uh,
So, but
uh-huh.
yeah, like, just kicking down doors,
Mm.
showing folks. And then, of course, when you do have those super hype moments
Right.
that even though my hype moments I had in front of my family and friends, I was on the losing end. But just imagine when you get on that winning end of those hype moments, it's like, wow, he's super passionate about it and he actually wins. He actually wins, or he's having fun.
Hmm.
I'll even get like, well, I'll take that back. I'll include the losing moments. but they was like, wow, he's having fun with this, and like everybody knows him, and he's explaining to me who this guy is, and who that guy is, and how big and prominent this person, and they seeing me talking to him like casual. Like I was explaining to my parent, my mom, my sister, my cousin, not cousin, nephew,
Mm-hmm.
who Terrence was at that tournament, and I was explaining to him who he was and what he do and everything, and how casually Terrence talked to us. Just like super
Right.
casual. And it's like, wow, this person is so dominant in this game and in the scene, and they're just up talking to him like he's one of the boys, like we're one of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wow, so hey, they got kind of respect and pull here with prominent people. I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's a big family. I told him, I said, George, we coming back, and we getting everybody back together. But yeah, that's just my take on like outside people finally looking in and seeing that we're having fun. They want to get into it, or just want to come by often just to watch and have fun.
Mm.
So that's me.
Yeah. Actually, since I know you get ready to go, since I'll wrap it up with this last question, but I'll go to Joshua as well. So, what do you see for the future of our scene? What do you think about the future of Middle Georgia? Where could we go from here?
Oh, this back on me.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit.
What I see, like I said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
we keep that passion and keep that drive. Start knocking and kicking down doors, with people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in a good way, not in a hey, you're going, not that type. But
I mean, I wouldn't mind busting down a couple of doors myself,
hey,
but
but uh,
but
um,
our future is very bright. I mean, considering a lot of things that are going on inside and outside of the FGC,
Mm-hmm.
I know some things are going to be a little rough because, for those that don't know, on the side note, Capcom's they just had their physical. It's like a market meeting. I forget,
Yeah.
but
Report.
90% of their sales like digital games. And on another side note, you've had Modern Warfare 2.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they printed out a bunch of discs.
Right.
This is worse than the whole controversy of a DLC locked on a disc.
Uh.
The Modern Warfare 2 disc had only 150 megabytes on it. I'm like,
Dang.
and then you had to download 150 gigs just
Uh.
to play the game. So, no, just out there, publishers, please don't do that. That's a
Mm-hmm.
waste of discs and everything else. Anyway, side tangent over. We've just, I guess, to give a little kind of premium for those out there. Just like the Street Fighter 4 days, we might be seeing the Xboxes making a return in the future. It just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm looking at getting the local area, at least two of the digital ones, just because it'll be, for the most part, it will be easier. It's just updating one. Maybe one of us will have to take it to one of our houses, but
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a hell of a lot more convenient for tournament setups. Just because, I mean, console costs and everything.
Right.
I mean, PC costs. I mean, you can make a PC under like the same price, say
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 5 is $500. You don't have to have like the max graphics. As long as you push like 60, 1080,
Mm-hmm.
I think most people will be happy. But I mean, 250 for a console, just buy it digitally and just have an extra hard drive, which I mean, there's an extra $100, so you're like looking at 350. Uh, and just invest into a converter for some of your local tournaments. Brook converters are like some of the best you can buy. I'm not paid to say any of this. I'm only saying this because
Mm-hmm.
I've tested their stuff and I've used their stuff in the past. So, but as far as like our local, I mean, we've been growing. I mean, we out of like the past 7 years of being within the FGC, if not longer. I mean, we've survived. We've seen
Yeah.
shout outs to Gwinnett Brawl and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like they ran some great tournaments. Shout outs to Shin Blanca for running final round. It was a great tournament series while it lasted, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the torch is on the ground, so to speak. No one for and I'm not saying that we're filling the shoes of final round, but I mean the torch is there for the community to pick up and continue onward with.
Mm,
The path has always been I can't speak. The foundation has been laid out.
mm,
We just got to work what's there and build upon it, and have something for even like the next future generation that'll come within the next
mm,
10 to 15 years, maybe give or take. Hell, even the next 5.
mm-hmm. Mm, okay. Yeah. Any more? Anything else on Big Boss before you go?
Let's see. Dang. Hit me with the question again.
Yeah. Basically, just what's the for the future? What do you see? For the future of the Middle Georgia scene, especially or the reboot scene. Uh,
Let's see. Like I say the passion. Build. What I didn't touch on building more relationships. Like we build some more relationships. We're not just um, with future people, but as
mm,
well with the businesses and stuff. Just
right.
like how at Making Beer Company 2 weeks ago, and we was eating, and I know a lot of people that was up there, and then the lady was like, "Hey, if you guys want to hold something here, do like a little joint thingy thing here, right quick if you want to,
Mm,
talk to my boss and this and that. And he'll be on board, like he's kind of on board with it already. Stuff like that. Hey, let's
yeah.
when we hear stuff like that, and especially if we got the time to, I say why not? Let's go ahead and do it. You know, if it's not on a day that we're not busy with our personal lives, what matters, or we don't have a tournament that day and we all agree to do it, say, hey, why not? Go for it. Just like I go into swag nerds here, just like with the nerds club when we was at Paris. Just got
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a lot of different eyes on us. And with Making Beer Company being a very popular spot, especially with Burger Week coming up, and
Mm,
everybody always coming through making beer, you will get some people like, hey, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. This is pretty awesome. And like I said, just keep expanding. So when the city see, like how you say we working with the city and stuff now, and the city sees that, and there's even more positive reviews from it, it's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger.
mm-hmm.
The budget might get bigger, stuff like I always think of the bigger picture, like if this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then we can do this, then we can get the equipment for this.
Right.
I was looking at big pictures whenever I think of stuff like that. When folks be like, "Hey, come through and see what we can do," because if we get even more positive reviews, especially how we carry ourselves, how professional we are,
Mm,
the fun that we're having, how we're engaging with the locals, and their positive reviews on it. They're going to want to see more of that, and then it's going to expand. Like I said, I'm always looking broad and always looking into the future. It's going to go from just the Cherry Blossom Festival, then maybe the state fair downtown. Then the fair that they have
mm.
at the
So national
park.
fair.
Yeah, then the national fair, and
Yeah.
we can just only go up from there.
Okay. Yeah.
God willing, if we do have it at national fair, it doesn't freaking rain. Uh,
True. True.
or any fair like the state fair at Central City Park, it doesn't freaking rain. But they got a building down there, but it
Mm,
doesn't freaking rain. Like I said, I'm always thinking of the bigger picture. I always said at Reboot or at a big place if we hold a tournament, or like at whenever Nerds Cup come up, have a projector or something on the outside so people who's walking past who don't come in, they can see everything that's going on the mainstream setups, can somewhat kind of hear the commentary and the gameplay,
mm.
so they can see and hear the excitement. Or we can have an old tournament playing on it,
Right. 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 Oh yeah.
hear the sounds and stuff and see how cool it is there. And then, of course, more eyes and more ears will be on us. It's like I said, that's just me thinking of the bigger picture, just thinking down the road. But of course, it just starts with one step. We just got to go out there and we just got to go and do and got to execute.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know you gotta get ready to go, Big Boss DP. But before you do, tell us the good people where they can find you.
They say you are able to find me on the Twitters, on the YouTubes, and on the I got change up. I got two Instagrams. I got a Twitter and a YouTube. Mainly, it's always Big Boss underscore DP. The two B's in Big Boss is capitalized. So it's capital B Big, capital B Boss underscore DP. DP is capitalized too. Now I do have a second Instagram that I'm going to start using.
Mm.
That's really mainly my gaming channel, but I still post gaming stuff on my main channel for now.
Right, right.
Second channel is gamer underscore DCP. Of course, DCP is my PSN and my Xbox Live name as well.
Mm.
DCP92. So that one is gamer underscore DCP92.
All right.
Of course, like I said, you can use DCP92 to find me on Xbox and PlayStation. On Facebook, it is Big Boss underscore DP Gaming. That's and of course when I stream to all three platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the same time.
Mm.
Still working out some kinks. I need to get a back. Need to get a what you call those things? One of those borders, with the
Mm.
chat box. I forget what.
Oh, oh. I know you're talking about. Mm.
Yeah, so I can start using those and get things set up because I want to get my cousin's thing going through. Put
Right.
on, and of course our stuff and whatever other stuff that I can just have on there. Because not only I'm fighting up under Reboot, I'm fighting up under the Area 478 tag.
Gotcha.
So when y'all walk downtown Macon and see all those 478s on the ground, I know they kind of like they
Mm.
starting to go away a bit. But when you see all those 478 on the grounds and stuff, the Area 478, that's my cousin.
Mm.
478 day that happened at Mercer, that happened because of him.
That's
Uh,
nice.
I'm fighting up under that tag too, so I can not only because not only because that's family,
Right.
but hey, cuz I want to help expand you as well, but I'm gonna be more on the video game side of things,
Yeah.
expanded. So
Nothing wrong with that, man.
I'll still ask them again to get a permission again, see if I can promote through all my games. So if I can get one of those Twitch layouts and put some 478 stuff on there,
Mm-hmm.
and of course reboot stuff and with any other stuff,
I got
But
you.
anyway, yeah, that's where you can reach me. Big Boss Gaming, Big Boss DP. Let me get the official name so folks will actually know.
All right. All
Give me
right.
a second. I'm looking now. Get out of the way, you advertisement. There we go. Big Boss underscore DP space. No underscore, just a space gaming for Facebook. That's the Facebook. But other than that, everything else is Big Boss underscore DP as you see on my name here or as I type in the Twitch chat. That's Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and then of course add gaming, and that's Facebook. And then gamer underscore DCP92 is my second channel.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Chris said he does the overlay as well, so that knows some people. So let him
Oh yeah,
know.
I will be hitting you up, Chris. But right now, I'm going to go see my fam. Uh, Not only one of my nephew's birthdays, but my other nephew just hit 300 subscribers on YouTube. So
Hey.
you know, just doing
Hey.
celebrations on that. So
All right. All right.
all my
Nice, nice.
gaming nephews, and they join. They not playing, but they in the band. So I'm proud on that end. Get some music. I'm trying to make them go to. I'm trying to persuade them to play trombone and go to an HBCU, but I'm still working on that. So,
Yeah.
about to go see them, have some fun, eat up, and then I'll be back later today.
All right. Well, appreciate you, man, for tuning in. Appreciate you for awesome insights, and definitely it was on the history before reboot, during reboot, and hopefully for the future of reboot as well. So thank you so much for being the guest for the episode. So I know you have to get your head on out. And of course, Joshua, any closing remarks on your end? Of course, where we can find you in the social media world.
One thing I will tell you, in anything you do, just make sure you practice. Even if it's only just like 15 minutes a day. Just start with the baby steps, then go forward. And use Google. It's one of your best friends. It is a decent search engine. Use YouTube. You can find a lot of free lessons instead of paying like $300, $400, $500 for books,
Mm-hmm.
college. I mean, you don't have to be indebted in student loan. But that's just my advice for those that don't want to dive into college too fast. Technical colleges also really great. Learn a trade. definitely worth it. Speaking from experience, of course. Anyways, if y'all want to find me, y'all can find me on Twitch at PhD Jeshua, just as it is posted in here. It's all lowercase. Same as my Twitter handle, Instagram, um, YouTube as well. You will find me. I haven't been as uploading a bunch of stuff because besides fighting games, I do other variety of game streaming. Hell, I just went through and did Resident Evil 8 Knife Run only, and the new DLC, the Winter's expansion for Resident Evil 8. Flubbed up on the Knife Run. I threw a pipe bomb on a boss, and I shouldn't have. Trying to blow up a wall. I hated that. But, I mean, folks, y'all have a great time. Mr. Retro, thanks for having me on here.
Definitely, as did with Big Boss, thank you for being the guest on the show with your awesome insights into the history. And let's say we definitely gonna have more episodes for sure. Of course, we'll definitely talk about some of the Pacific eras of the scene. And of course, at any point, if I could bring you guys back for more insight on those stuff, definitely. But I think I definitely want to at least cover a bit of what it was like before Reboot, because I have not heard too much about it, but I do have other people who have their perspective and their views of what happened before Reboot as well. But thank you guys so much, and thank you for those who viewed in. Of course, thank you guys for the who have recently subscribed. Let you guys know, if you subscribe now, you now can get now my cat emoji. um,
Well, that reminds me, I gotta work on your emojis.
yeah, so I just did like a few on the side, so recent emojis, and also I'll do a little giveaway for the first 10 subscribers once we get to that number. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and this was a really cool episode. Definitely, I like to do. Definitely looking forward to do more, and tune in to see what we have in store. We will have updates on our next tournament is November 5th, next Saturday, and hopefully we have the promotions ready for that soon. And we have a tournament on the 12th, and what else? 20, and November 12th. Our next Reboot tournament will be on December 17th, but we might have something else planned. So yeah, follow me on Sir Retro 08 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course anywhere else you can find me, YouTube. But yeah, I'll have this posted on the Reboot YouTube actually. So definitely tune in to you want to listen to something while on the go. So you'll have this podcast as well as a Street Fighter podcast, um, as well, that we'll have finale on November 6th, I believe. So definitely, thank you guys. You guys have a great day. I'm actually going to raid because I believe some of our homies from Georgia are at Kumite, Tennessee in the finals. Shout outs to Darius, that VIP for being Marvel and Street Fighter 5. Definitely a super strong player, one of the legends from here. And I think we'll have some more tournaments. So I think it's the third strike that's happening. Give me a second while I will take you guys to there. So also plus it's the last Kumite, so definitely support that scene.
Later.